Ridiculous here, and welcome to my unboxing and review of the Jojos Bizarre Adventure Super Action Statue, Okuyasu Nijimura. Yes, finally, the final member of the Morio Warriors that I needed to complete my entire Part 4 characters set. I am so freaking excited about this. Oh, I cannot wait. I have been so freaking looking forward to this re-release of Okuyasu. I did not get Zahando to go with him, but I do definitely want to get Zahando to go with him at some point. But I am just so unbelievably excited to finally have Best Boy Okuyasu. Well, I say Best Boy. This show has way too many Best Boys, but one of my favorite Joe Bros. Honestly, maybe probably one of my top 10 favorite characters of the show. Jojo has so many great characters, man. I have no idea if he would break that or not, but he's a wonderful, wonderful character. I absolutely love Okuyasu. And I just can't wait to get this figure out and put him with Josuke and Koichi and Rohan and all of them. So without further ado, let's jump in to the review. And let's start off by taking a look at the packaging here. We have Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. We have the Medicos logo. We have Okuyasu Nijimura. We have a nice picture of Okuyasu on the side there. We have him in the box. We have him on the side as well. We have a bunch of product shots right there showing you all the things that he comes with. We do get a speech bubble with this. We have the approved by Shueisha sticker right there. We have him right there. And they just announced Keicho as well, so pretty soon we'll have his brother to go with him as well, which is so damn exciting. I cannot wait. Let's go ahead and cut to me picking him up for the first time.
Oi, Josuke! Get me out of this box, man!
Oh, wow, look at the shading on him. Oh my goodness. Okay, so right off the bat, we can see some inaccuracies to the anime, which of course is to be expected with this line. They are modeled after the manga. However, as a fan of the anime primarily, I do have to point out the inaccuracies to the anime here, and there's quite a lot of them. For one, I do think the blue is a little bit off. It's like this is the exact same problem that I had with Josuke. I honestly feel like these are reversed. I feel like this blue should be the one on Josuke, and this blue should be the one on Okuyasu. If you watch part 4, pay attention to the colors of Josuke and Okuyasu. They are very clearly wearing two different shades of blue, and Josuke's is very clearly more of a purpley blue, more of an indigo blue, as opposed to Okuyasu, which is a straight blue. Honestly, his blue is pretty much this blue, but they managed to put the wrong, but it's like they mixed up the colors of blue for these figures, at least for an anime fan. Also, we have like a brown hair instead of his usual black hair, which I do think is not the best. I also just think the face in general doesn't really capture anime Okuyasu. Like, this is another problem that the Josuke has as well. Like, these are fine. These are fine head sculpts for the characters. They're not awful, but they don't 100% capture the look of the anime characters. And again, they are modeled after the manga character, so you can't get too mad about that. You're the one who bought the figure. You knew it was modeled after the manga. And I did too. Now, those are currently the only inaccuracies I can see with Okuyasu right here. And getting into some stuff I really, really like about this figure right off the bat, I love how they've done the dollar sign on his torso right here. It's actually a separate piece that was super glued, like attached to the torso afterwards, which looks really cool. And all the designs all over him, the little dollar sign right there, the little yen sign right there, you have the billion on his arm right there, you have the little belts going around right there, the purple right there. I don't remember if that was purple in the anime, but I like the way it looks regardless. I think it looks really, really good. Yeah, overall, I mean, at the moment, I'm really liking the figure. I always really like these super action statues, but I will say at the moment, I probably like him a little bit more than Josuke, honestly. I think Josuke, one thing I will say he definitely beats Josuke on is the neck. You can see on Josuke, the neck is really weird. I pointed this out in, I point this out pretty much every time I talk about him, but the neck is really weird. Like, it's very fat, and then he just has this tiny little head on top of it, and from certain angles, it looks fine, but from certain angles, it looks really, really off, really weird, like his head is like way too small for his body. This, however, not the same case on Okuyasu right here. This looks pretty much perfect to me. This guy, he's got a huge neck, he's got a Corey Taylor neck, but the head sits on there pretty much perfectly, I think. I really, really, really like how that looks right there. And getting in here on some of the other sculpting right here, you can see you have Okuyasu's hair very nicely done in action figure form, the little pieces sticking out right there. Of course, you have the small baby pompadour on Okuyasu, of course, have the little lines going through his face face right there. You can see them right there, the little red protrusions going through the face and kind of like the X symbol right there. The eyes also look very, very good. Honestly, overall, I'm very, very happy with this figure right off the bat. He is super, super duper nice. Honestly, man, he might be my favorite of the Morio Warriors, of the super action statues for the Morio Warriors. They did a really, really great job on this guy, and we haven't even taken a look at the accessories or the articulation yet. So with that being said, let's jump into the articulation right here. So of course, as usual, you've got a ball joint in the skull right there, popped off a little bit easier, but I do know about one thing we're going to talk about with this guy when it comes to the head. But yeah, you get a little bit of up movement right there. Little bit of up movement right there. Of course, you have a ball joint at the base of the neck right there as well. However, on this one, you don't get a ton of side to side. It's more used for the up and down movement right there, but it's still pretty darn good. And then moving down to the torso right here, you have a ball joint at the base of the centerpiece right there of the torso, and then you have a swivel right there at the waist section right there, the base of the torso, which is pretty darn good. I like that. And then for the arms, they can go out about that much. These pieces are nice and stiff, unlike these are not like Rohans, the first Rohans where they're really loose. These are nice and stiff, and of course you can like move these up if you want to get lots of movement right there. And then you have a double jointed bend at the elbow. We have a little piece flies off right. So I put this back on twice and it shot off like a fucking, like literally like a gun. This thing went flying across my room 2 separate times. It's not that big a deal. Even if you lose this, I mean, whatever, it's just gonna look like, I can show you what it's gonna look like real quick. It's not a big deal. Like, you won't even really be able to notice it, but I did just want to point out that this thing literally shot like a goddamn bullet across my room like twice, and I had to go find it, which was, yeah, that was an adventure. But getting into the articulation in the arms, you have a full double jointed bend and the arms right there. Maybe not as amazing as some of those recent Jujutsu Kaisen figures I've been reviewing, because Shibuya Incident arc was fucking peak, but actually season 2 in general was fucking peak. JJK rules, by the way. But yes, nice little double jointed bend at the elbow right here. Maybe not as much as JoJo. Nice little double jointed bend right here though, and then you have a nice joint right here in the hand. You got some upward movement, some swivel right there. Of course, it's your usual super action statue joint. I think you couldn't see that on camera right there. So yeah, it's your usual super action statue joint. You probably know what to expect. I mean, honestly, overall, I could just say it's your usual super action statue posing, but we won't cop out like that. You get some really good movement right there in the leg, tons of movement right there, and then you've got some back as well. Not as hindered as a lot of other super action statues, actually. He does have a nicely sculpted butt right there, so you can get it nice. You can get a little bit of back movement right there, which is pretty nice, which might be because of his pocket gimmick, which we'll talk about in a minute here. And then we have a nice joint right here in the knees. Well, we actually, okay, so you don't get a ton of movement in the knees right here, no matter which way you try and go about it. You don't get a lot of movement in the knees, like no matter, yeah, there's no way to get, like you can see, I'm bending the first one down, same movement right there. I'm bending the front one first, still same movement right there, maybe even a little bit less. So yeah, that is as much movement as you can get, which is not the best, but it's Okuyasu. I don't think you need to get him in too many crazy ass poses. And then the feet right here, you've got a nice ankle pivot right there. You got some up and down, and of course, your toe joint right there. Now, before we get into the comparisons, I do want to point out the nice little shading job they've done here, even though I, again, don't think this is the most accurate paint scheme, at least to the anime version of the character. I do like how they've done kind of like these like light blue shading right here throughout the outfit. It is very nicely done. It does kind of give it a nice premium look. So I got to give credit where credit is due. That's really nice. And overall, I'm really, really, really liking this figure. I actually think of the Part 4 stand users, Okuyasu might be the best one aside from maybe Kira. But with that being said, here is the whole Morio gang in action figure form. Oh my god, they look so amazing together. We'll go ahead and throw Kira in here as well. Oh my god, look at them. They look so freaking good together. And I'll throw Killer Queen over there, right there. Well, I guess that means we should probably put these right there just to get a nice group shot. Oh no, they're all falling over. Break down, break down. Look at this. Oh my god, we have the whole gang in action figure form. Now, I say the whole gang, but there's a few more characters they could absolutely give us for the Part 4 section right here. For example, Yukako would be absolutely awesome if we could get a Yukako. Oh, I just realized I need Part 4 Jotaro for this, don't I? Whatever. Well, I'll get that eventually. I I'm actually more interested in getting the Part 6 Jotaro before the Part 4 Jotaro. So it'll be a while before I add the Part 4 Jotaro to this. But honestly, I don't think he's necessary. I just realized. There we go. That looks better. Josuke should be in the middle right there. Oh, I can't say it loud enough. This is so awesome to have all of the Part 4 characters right here. Like I said, there's a few more characters. Honestly, I couldn't really come up with anybody aside from Yukako. I feel like Yukako is like the last one we really need. And we are getting Keicho to go in here, so we still got more coming. But yeah, I do feel like Yukako could be a pretty cool one as well. But aside from her, I can't really think of any other major characters. This is awesome. This is freaking awesome. We have everybody, and I love it. And for some more comparisons, here he is with the amazing Yamaguchi Aijiro Kirishima, the SH Figuarts Aoi Todo, the Figma Denji, and the SH Figuarts Masha Banded. As usual with the Super Action statue line, they are not scaled perfectly, and these are not the Part 4 or the Part 3 figures. Those figures are scaled down a little bit from what you would probably need to have them in perfect scale with all the characters you see in front of you. However, the Part 5, 6, 7, 8, probably the 9 when we get them, all those are scaled up more. So while Okuyasu doesn't really fit in with these characters, that's not to say the whole line doesn't. But in all honesty, I personally don't think it's that big a deal that they don't scale 100% perfectly with those characters. If you wanted to do some fun stop motion or stuff between them, just because they're a little bit out of scale isn't going to ruin your stop motions. You'll still be able to have tons of fun merging universes and everything. It's fine. And at the end of the day, you should be displaying all of your Part 4 figures together so they'll all look perfectly scaled in that display, which I feel like is what you really, really want. With that being said, let's jump into the accessories and kick it off with an absolute banger. If you remember in my Josuke review, I talked about how I really wish he included a smiling face, and with Okuyasu, you get a beautiful smiling face, which I'm gonna be honest, this looks infinitely better than this head sculpt right here. Honestly, this head sculpt really fails to capture Okuyasu in my opinion. I think this is pretty mid. This, however, almost a 10 out of 10. This is perfect. Let's go ahead and switch this off right now. And that was the easiest shit in the world, man. The Part 4 Super Action statues are really easy to switch the heads on, which is really awesome. And yeah, I don't feel like I'm ever gonna want to change this head ever again. That is Okuyasu right there. I really wish they could have thrown in one of these for Josuke as well. I don't feel like it's as necessary for Josuke, but I still would really love to have some kind of happy expression for Josuke. I know they did make one and included it with like one of the exclusive Crazy Diamond variants or anything, but like seriously, I'm not gonna pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for a freaking Josuke head. And for the hands, of course, you get fisted hands out of the packaging, but we also get two kind of different looking relaxed hands for this side right here, but these are really just for like various poses, gripping poses. You got this thing right here for more of a grip right there. I don't know, both of these are just kind of, I don't really know what to classify them as, but you get these. You get one pointing finger for this side, which is awesome. I always love a pointing finger with my JoJo figures. You get this hand, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And you get some pocket hands again, which we'll talk about in just a moment right here. So to swap out the hands, of course, it's your usual. We're going to pop this hand on right here. It's your usual. Just pop the hand off right there and slide on the hand of your choice right there. And we're going to slide on this gripping hand right here so I can talk about this. So this hand right here is included. If you remember, if you have Killer Queen and you remember from my Killer Queen review, they included this little piece for Stray Cat. And what this is supposed to be is you're supposed to slip this into Okuyasu's hand right here. Just get it through the fist right there, get it all the way in, and then take Stray Cat from Killer Queen, pop him out of the pot, and plug him in right there. And this allows you to have Okuyasu holding Stray Cat right there, which looks absolutely awesome. I really love this. This is yet another amazing display for Stray Cat. Now, in all honesty, you can use this accessory for Stray Cat for any character as long as they have a gripping hand. You'll be able to put it in their hand, but this is what it was made for, and I think this is amazing, honestly. I might even display him like this, but I don't know. This figure is very, very wonderful. I absolutely love this figure. Spoiler for the final verdict on him. I absolutely love him, but this accessory is great. You also get his bag right here, just like with Josuke, although I like his better than Josuke personally. I think this one looks nicer, and this is definitely what you're going to use for this hand right here, so you can plop it in to his hand right there and have him holding his bag, which is absolutely wonderful. Oh, Shigechi. They could give us Shigechi. Leave me a comment if you guys want a Shigechi Super Action statue. And next we get a nice pair of pocket accessories right here. So you put these hands on right here, these flat stump hands right here, and it's your usual hands in pocket gimmick right here. We're just gonna come to the torso, to the legs right here. We're just gonna slip these front panels off. This is kind of similar to Josuke's, which, to be honest, I much prefer characters like Gappy and these are actually really on there. Let me get these off real quick. My God, those things were a gargantuan pain in the ass to get off. But what I was saying before, was I personally prefer the way that they did this gimmick more. I much prefer how they did this on Gappy right here, where you just put the things on and then you just kind of slip them into the hands right there. It's just a lot easier in my opinion, a lot nicer. And another example of a better executed in hands in pocket gimmick again is the SHF Suguru Gato right here. I absolutely love how this figure handled the hands in pocket gimmick right there. Like, that is just brilliant. This is probably the best executed hands in pocket gimmick I've personally seen on an action figure. With that being said, this figure is at least like 6 or 7 years older than both of those figures, like probably at least. I'm pretty sure that's how old this figure is, so I guess it's understandable, of course. But I do really not love these, because once again, they were a massive pain in the ass to get these off, and of course you have to have like these extra accessories just to be able to do this. But with that being said, let's go ahead and pop on the extra pieces right here. Is these ones the right ones? I'm pretty sure these are the right ones. So just pop that on right there. So there's one. At least they go on nice and securely. On Jotaro, the Part 3 Jotaro, that figure is even worse on that one because they just pop off all the time. They barely even go on. I mean, that figure is horribly flawed in general, but definitely the worst super action statue that I've personally experienced so far. Like, that's the only one I'd say is like bad. Like, I would not recommend the Part 3 Jotaro. Just get the Part 6 one or whatever. I know Part 3 is goated, but it's not worth it. Just get the Part 6 Jotaro. That's why I never reviewed it. But yeah, you just put those on right there and slip Okuyasu's hands right there into his pocket, and that looks really, really great. I was never trying to say it doesn't look good. It's just a bit more of a pain in the ass than I would like it to be, but honestly, this looks really, really great. Like I said earlier in the video, this is probably my favorite of the Part 4 stand user figures. The only one I'm a little bit hesitant to say he doesn't beat is Kira. He's definitely better than Kira. He's definitely better than Josuke, definitely better than Rohan, definitely better than Koichi. The only one that I'm a little bit hesitant on is Kira, but even him, I think I might like him better. Like, one problem with Kira is that his legs cannot cross whatsoever. So let's see with Okuyasu. Well, this is a little bit better than Kira. Kira's legs are really, really annoying. They can't really get like super close together. This is slightly better, not a ton better, not enough to be like it gives him the win over Kira. I would say that him and Kira are both the winners of the Part 4 lineup. Oh, and Killer Queen. Killer Queen is god tier. Killer Queen is one of the best super action statues I've ever bought so far. But I'm mainly talking about the stand users, not the stands. With that being said, we have one last accessory to talk about with Okuyasu right here, and that is a nice speech bubble right here, which, of course, all we need to do is take our always included super action statue stand right here, courtesy of Medicos. Not the best stands in the world, but not the worst either. We just take this. We do get this piece as well, but I never use these because they're just so low to the ground. There's no reason to use these. If you collect this line, chances are you've got a freaking drawer full of these goddamn things. So just take your stand. You can pop off either of the sides right there that you want to, then pop on the arm right there, and then just fold this down to your particularly liking right there, and plug the accessory right into that stand right there, and there you have that right there. And like I always say with these, I think these are by far the best executed like speech bubble accessories that I've ever seen with action figures. Like, usually it's just like a little piece of like flat plastic. It's usually not very good, but these are honestly good. They're a nice durable piece of plastic that you put on a stand, and I have been able to make these look good on my shelf. I don't really use them. I don't really like it clogging up my shelf and taking the space away from more figures, but these look nice. If you want to use them, I say go for it. They look really cool. That being said, I have no idea what this says. It might say visht, which is the sound effect that they usually associate with the hando, but I assume that probably comes with the hando, so I'm not sure what this says, but yeah, I don't know. I took a quick peek at the instructions and it doesn't say. It's all in Japanese. So final thoughts on the super action statue Okuyasu Nijimura. Much like the character himself, he is wonderful. This is, in my opinion, the second best stand user figure out of the Part 4 figures. The only one I think is a little bit better is Kira, Yoshikage Kira. I think he might be just a hair better. I think his accessories are a little bit better, but it's not by much. Honestly, I'd say they're about neck and neck. They are both fan-freaking-tastic figures. I honestly love this thing. He absolutely stomps the Josuke, stomps the Koichi. The Rohan figures are great, but I do think he's a little bit better. I love this figure. I think he's awesome. Yeah, I don't have a ton of complaints with him. I guess a few of the inaccurate colors, but honestly, this head sculpt fixed a lot of my problems with this figure. Like, this default one, not the best thing in the world. I always like a default head sculpt, though. It's always a nice option to have, but even then, this just doesn't really look like Okuyasu to me, personally. I think this head sculpt is not very good. This one, on the other hand, this might be one of the best head sculpts of any super action statue I've looked at so far, so it totally makes up for it. And with that being said, I'm gonna give the super action statue Okuyasu Nijimura an S tier. Not an S plus, but this is a wonderful action figure. If you were interested in this, if you're planning on getting this, get it. You are not gonna be disappointed. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for some more JoJo Super Action Statue reviews in the future. Let me know all your thoughts on the Super Action Statue Okuyasu Nijimura in the comment section down below. And with that being said, this is DA Guillotine, signing out.
Oi, Josuke! Did you hear that crazy man behind the camera right there? He said I'm better than you!
No, Okuyasu, he said your action figure is better than me.
Well, I choose to believe he meant in general.
Whatever makes you happy, buddy.